Far be it from me to ever miss an opportunity to say I was right. So, I was right again. Remember when I uploaded the video talking about how the Grand Prix series is dying and everyone was like, "Ree, he once said something mean. He's just a hater. He's just a hater." Remember that? Remember when my fellow YouTube content creators were subtweeting me saying, "No, everything's going good. No, oh, Channel Fireball flew me to England. Everything's good." Enough of that. All right, well, let's get on to it. Channel Fireball held an AMA yesterday where they finally publicly admitted not only is Grand Prix attendance shrinking, but they're also not making any money. Imagine my shock. This comes on the heels of all of the artists who want to attend the Grand Prix, or many of the artists, I'm sorry, publicly boycotting attending any future Channel Fireball events because they cut all of their benefits. Looks like flying in the Manosaurus and Tolarian Community College didn't do much to get people into the event. Imagine my shock. Maybe it's the $75 entry fee for a main event and a box full of complete garbage swag that has kept people away. Maybe it's the politics of the main company. Maybe it's major YouTubers and personalities promoting buying online at Amazon and not going into your local game store to support them that has gotten people out of playing IRL. But let's look at a couple of these comments. So we'll see. Player cost rising, $75 for constructed. Pathetic swag. No more playmat sleeves or life pad smaller than a card. Dropping attendance year over year, stats below. Artist boycott, vendors dropping due to rising costs. What are your thoughts on the correlation between rising costs, pathetic swag, and the decline in player base? And how do you plan on remedying the situation? Star City Games is keeping player costs down and still providing good swag to its players. How is it that they can and you can't? Well, that's very spicy. Let's look at the attendance, okay? 2014, 70,000 total attendees from main events. And it grew in 2015 by 7%, solid growth. But then in 2016, just grew by 2%, growing flat. That's basically like growing in reverse. And then a massive drop in 2017. I wonder if that had something to do with the monopoly. Down 13%. Then 2018 so far, which we can call basically over, a full 8% loss. So you lost 13% last year, another 8% this year. What's next? And Channel Fireball comes around to say, we've talked about price increases a little bit in different comment. As for attendance, the number of players in the main event are slightly down. Yeah, if your business is down by 13%, that's way more than slightly, by the way. We measure unique players as the number of unique players that enter at least one side event, not Turbo Town or the main event. Interesting. Well, let's also see where somehow, what? Tolarian Community College couldn't possibly fathom that Channel Fireball isn't making any money at their events. Wow. To me, one of the most surprising, shocking things from Channel Fireball events AMA today is a reveal that they have yet to show profit. That's right. We have not closed the books on 2018, but it's highly unlikely that Channel Fireball events will show a profit in 2018. And before you ask, there is no CFB events, yacht, or private jet. Part of this is based on increased costs of starting a new business. It's been around for like 10 years, dude. And the investments that are required. But it's a 3-year contract, so those events should start paying dividends in 2019 and 2020. Our goal is obviously to increase player attendance and become more efficient in order to show a profit in 2019 and 2020. Well, let's say you flew in e-celebrities to, let's say, 10 or 15 events. Let's say 10 or 15 hotels, plane tickets. I mean, you got $100,000 in travel costs to pay that you paid e-celebs. That could be profit. He also says, pulled from conversations on the interesting, turning a profit and making money are two very different things. Fireball events and CFB, it's possible that CFB is not making money. Could even be a tax write-off for Channel Fireball or profit. So here's the thing. On just a couple of these topics. Yes, Channel Fireball events is probably owned underneath Channel Fireball, meaning as long as CFB is, let's say Channel Fireball made $1 million this year on back-end sales. Okay, let me give you an example. maybe all of the cards bought at Grand Prix get bought in, expended by Channel Fireball events. Then Channel Fireball buys the cards from Channel Fireball events at a discount or a loss, and then makes the money on the back end or on the front end selling those singles. So it's entirely possible that accounting would lead to events not making any money, but I find it's curious that they mentioned it out loud. Sharing your profit numbers is not something that normally happens in this space. Then we talk about the player shrink. Is it just because Wizards of the Coast got woke? No. As much as I'd like to say it is, it isn't. Is it just because they banned my channel and made a bunch of people pissed off? No, probably not just that. Probably not the pedo gate. Probably not the prices. It's some combination of all of the above. Paying $75 to $100 to attend a Grand Prix is just too expensive. And Channel Fireball has done nothing to figure out how to make money off these 75,000 people that come in and out of the gate every year. Look, you're going to lose the artists. And I think Channel Fireball probably doesn't care because they're probably not making any money. And in my opinion, it's a very small amount of people that are probably buying a ticket to a Grand Prix just to see artists. They are a nice to have. They are not required. What is required is clean and accessible bathrooms, events that fire on time, and decent prize support. It would appear to me that Channel Fireball has been feeling themselves a little bit too much, kind of like what happens with e-celebrities who think their impact or think they're just too damn important. Here's what I would do to fix it. You need to lower the cost of these main events, and you need to increase the prize support. Whether that means negotiating a better deal with the Wizards of the Coast, which we know you can do. You've already done this with providing the Return to Ravnica, Ravnica Guild Pack Premium Editions. You've worked deals before with Wizards of the Coast. You need to strongly consider what you're doing for prize support. And it's not just the big... Here's the thing. It's not just the big cash prizes. This is what everyone thinks about. Right? Man, it's only a $10,000 prize for Grand Prix. You got to remember that even though people play in the main event, okay, those same people are also playing in side events. Every Grand Prix I went to, I would play in the main event, and then after I get, a 0-2 drop or 2-2 drop, then I would want to play side events. But I would go to sign up for those side events, and the prize support was terrible. Honestly, I don't even like the move to tickets rather than just getting your packs right there. But I do understand that some grinders that play in a lot of events want to get those tickets and use them to buy something else, which is also fine. I think that they need to really strongly consider the prize support that they have in side events, because that is where the feel bads are. You could probably charge $1 or $2 extra in those side events and throw in some better prize support, because whether or not you're playing in the Grand Prix, the main event, let's say it's standard, or let's say it's modern or legacy or vintage or something, that maybe doesn't appeal to everybody. Sealed. All right, sealed doesn't appeal to everybody. If you could have, you're going to go to the Grand Prix, right? I can tell Channel Fireball tried to do this where they started doing, sealed on Friday, modern on Saturday, legacy on Sunday, or whatever. They started doing separate events to try and get people interested, and it clearly didn't work. That's because I think the side events is where I would spend most of my time. You have to make people want to play those side events because you're just churning money. The more events, some kids will get there, some people will get there, when it opens, noon, 1 o'clock, and be playing drafts until 10 o'clock at night. These are the customers you need to be looking at, not necessarily just the main event people. You need to lower the price of the main event and just drop it with all the crap swag. The very first time you go to a Grand Prix, yeah, it's cool to get a deck box or a pack of sleeves. But let's be honest here. Who wants another pair of sleeves? Everyone, or a set of sleeves. Everybody has sleeves. And certainly, to be honest with you, sorry, Channel Fireball, if I'm putting sleeves on my deck, it ain't having your name on it. I didn't pay you to advertise for you. I don't want a Channel Fireball nylon bag. I don't want a Channel Fireball spin down or a Channel Fireball score sheet. Nobody wants that crap. It's just fluff. You might as well get rid of it entirely. Let's say your cost is $6 on that, and you drop the attendance by $5. Nobody cares about the swag. You have to look at, yeah, it's neat for the first time, but long time, multiple attendees, it just ends up in the trash. It ends up on the floor. It ends up, I just threw out playmats up the wazoo because nobody even wants them. Nobody needs extra playmats unless they're custom and unique. If they're unique, okay, now we're talking. custom, you can only get it at that Grand Prix. That is a good program. And you should also sell them, make them available online and things like that, because who even cares? If people want it, let them buy it. The idea that you're also increasing the price on vendors isn't going to end well. Why aren't the vendors going? They're not making money. It's that simple, right? When you go to Grand Prix Vegas, I can't imagine being a vendor there. The last GP Vegas I went to, which was what, 2017, I think, or maybe 2015? No, 2017 I was there. There were so many vendors, you couldn't even, I mean, what's the difference? You have 100 vendors there and you're there trying to sell standard staples. I mean, why doesn't Channel Fireball just monopolize the buying? I mean, they usually have the biggest table anyway. It's because they want to sell extra booths to these vendors, but imagine paying $10,000 and having, you got to buy at minimum $25,000 or $35,000 in cards just to break even. And when you talk about dwindling attendance and you're one of 40 vendors, good luck. You might get the random collection here or there, but if you're some no-name, you're not getting those collections. It's all going to the top 2 or 3 people who have the big booths and have the cachet. What Channel Fireball needs to do, start thinking outside of the box. They have to start selling booths to people who can make money selling things to Magic players. They need to sell booths to people who sell complimentary items. They need to work on getting corporate sponsorships. You have 100,000 people walking through the doors every year. How come you don't have a sponsorship from Monster Energy Drink or, something like this, Red Bull, or, heart medication, Viagra, I don't know, something. You have to monetize those streams as well. You've got to think outside the box if the Grand Prix are going to continue. You can't keep leaning on Wizards of the Coast to subsidize, because I don't think they have a huge interest in it. I mean, look at that. Last year, 2018, only 72,000 players. That's it. In a pool that's supposed to be 20 million plus. The idea that these events is drawing any significant amount of traffic is absurd. Yeah, it's 70,000 people, and you have the optics of it, okay? But even 80,000, 100,000, 100,000 out of 20 million, it's irrelevant, completely insignificant. You might as well drop it and drop the pack price or figure something else out. But, what do I know? I once said something mean, and, I'm a little abrasive. Keep listening to your fellow shill people who just keep telling you everything's fine. Not you, because you know what's up. I just think it's funny that a lot of this has come out, and, it sucks. I do miss going to Grand Prix. I miss being able to go. I would definitely still go. And you know what? When they banned me, there are a lot of people that stopped going too. But that's not the entire reason. A lot of it is just that they were poorly run, poor prize support, increased cost. They need to figure out how to hold like satellite events, maybe small mini tournaments instead of a Grand Prix. You could have like a mini Prix. This Magic Fest, this huge idea that they have, I don't know if it's sustainable anymore. I think they need to look at satellite tournaments, smaller, leaner, quicker, easier to pop up and run. But who knows? I'm just a mean guy on the internet. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.